Just yesterday, we talked about and division. Before that, we were adding and subtracting, and we were also learning polynomial vocabulary like degree, leading coefficient, and standard form. Just yesterday, we started distributing in. I'm going to show a video for this one, so I hope you have it written down. You guys can hear another teacher go through it. I'll write down 1 and 2 here. So we have to do negative 4x squared times 3x squared plus 25x minus 7. And then we also have to do a division problem. 2x to the 5th plus 3x to the 4th plus 8x to the 3rd all over x to the 3rd. So these are 2 problems. I'm going to show a video for the first one. I hope it loaded. The volume is all the way up. It's not working. The Bellert? Oh, Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I think that should say a due date on it. And what's it say the due date?
I'm gonna check mine. That's what he said. That's his words.
Multiply negative 4x squared by the whole expression, 3x squared plus 25x minus 7. So if you multiply anything times the whole expression, you really just use the distributive property to multiply each term of the expression by the negative 4x squared. So we're going to have to distribute this negative 4x squared over every term in the expression. So first we can start with negative 4x squared times 3x squared. So we can write that we're going to have negative 4x squared times 3x squared. And to that, we're going to add negative 4x squared times 25x times 25x. And to that, we're going to add negative 4x squared times negative 7 times negative 7. So let's just simplify this a little bit. Now, we can obviously swap the order. We're just multiplying negative 4 times x squared times 3 times x squared. And actually, I'll do out every step. Eventually, you can do some of this in your head. This is the exact same thing as negative 4 times 3 times x squared times x squared. And what does that equal to? Well, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and x.
Okay, so what has he written out so far? He wrote out this term times this one.
Squared times x squared, same base, we're taking.
Crazy. He wrote out the negative 4 and the 25 and he put them together. He wrote out the negative 4 and the 7 and put them together. Okay, so he's just showing that distribution one piece at a time. His next step. Why is it so touchy? Oh. Okay. His next step is going to be to put the coefficients right next to each other. So the negative 4 and the 3, and then the variables x squared and x squared. And the negative 4 and the 25, he's going to write next to each other, and the x squared and the x, and then the negative 4 and the 7. So first he's showing the distribution, and now he's just going to put the numbers next to each other and the variables next to each other.
So let's just simplify this a little bit. Now, we can obviously swap the order. We're just multiplying negative 4 times x squared times 3 times x squared. And actually, I'll do out every step. Eventually, you can do some of this in your head. This is the exact same thing as negative 4 times 3 times x squared times x squared. And what does that equal to? Well, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And x squared times x squared, same base, we're taking the product. That's going to be x to the fourth. So this right here is negative 12x to the fourth. Now let's think about this term over here. This term over here. This is the same thing as, of course, we have this plus out here. We have this plus. And then this part right here is the exact same thing as 25 times negative 4 times x squared times x. So let's just multiply the numbers out here. These were the coefficients. 25 times negative 4 is negative 100. So it'll be plus negative 100, or we could just say it's minus 100. And then we have x squared times x, or x squared times x to the first power. Same base, we can add the exponents. 2 plus 1 is 3. So this is negative 100 x to the third power. And then let's look at this last term over here. We have negative 4x squared. So this is going to be plus. That's this plus right over here. We have negative 4. We can multiply that times negative 7. And then multiply that times x squared. I'm just changing the order in which we multiply it. So negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. Positive 28. And then I'm going to multiply that times the x squared. Times the x squared. And there's no simplification to do, no like terms. These are different powers of x. So we are done.
Oh, shucks. I wanted to just ask you guys about the vocabulary, but I don't have to. Everybody got their answer written down? The we are done went quickly, didn't it? Look, it says algebra 2, y'all. We're not right now, but we do the same thing in algebra 2. That's in an algebra 2 part. right, the number 2 is still there on the board, division. But I will fast forward this in case you need to see the end.
Multiply negative 4x squared by the whole expression, 3x squared plus 25x minus 7. So if you multiply anything times the whole expression, you really just use the distributive positive 28. Positive 28, and then I'm going to multiply that times the x squared. We are done.
Okay, negative 12x to the 4th minus 100x to the 3rd plus 28x squared. It's a trinomial. 4th degree. What's the leading coefficient? Negative 12. Do you know that vocabulary, Kate?
No, I just got here.
Yeah.
I've been here the whole week.
So if this is a trinomial, it's because there's 3 terms. If there's 3 terms, you call it tri. 1, 2, 3. And then the degree is the highest exponent, so it's degree 4. And then the last thing is called a leading coefficient. That's the number in front when it's in the right order. So negative 12. The right order is the highest exponent decreasing to the lowest exponent. So that's some vocabulary we did, and then we did distributive property. And then yesterday we did a problem like this, where it's a fraction. For this is called a polynomial over a monomial. 1 term over 3. What we talked about yesterday was separating this. So I'm going to do 2x to the 5th over x to the 3rd. And then put the plus sign in. 3x to the 4th over x to the 3rd. Oh my gosh, it's all addition. Put a plus sign in. 8x to the 3rd over x to the 3rd. So the strategy we talked about yesterday and we're continuing today is separating it into 3 separate fractions. Then you'll reduce. So this is x to the 5th over x to the 3rd. One way to think about it, and I don't think you should always write out quite this much work, would be to write out 5x's over 3x's. And then you just like reduce anything top to bottom. Desmos doesn't what? I don't know. So I'm going to reduce all these common x's and get 2x squared. You guys, I saw doing a good job with this yesterday. Who else was absent yesterday besides Caden? James? Were you here? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4 x's over 1, 2, 3 x's. All the pairs match up. Caden, you see the strategy of writing them all out?
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to do that, or will you just subtract in your head?
I can just subtract it.
Because 4 over 3 is just 3x. And then lastly, 8, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All 3 cancel out, leaving just 8. Okay? So that is a full review of our lesson yesterday. That's what we're continuing today on Big Ideas Math. Not adding anything to it. You're going to finish the odds you started yesterday, and I'm assigning you the evens. So you can use the rest of this class time to work on any Big Ideas Math assignment that you have to continue. Solve equations for you. It does math operation. It's not like photo math. Photo math solve it right for you. Should I put up the odds or the evens? What are you guys working on? Let's raise your hand if you're done with the odd assignment started yesterday. Okay. Nice job, everybody.
I got it right. Oh wait, miss, I did it again. You called me out for this time.
All right, you guys, I have the odds pulled up here. Does anybody need any help with any of these on the 7.2 odds?
Oh, yeah, straight to that right now.
What?
Wait, miss.
All right, I'm going to go to number 2 online, which is number 3 in the book. It says find the product, and what we're going to do is use the distributive property. So I know I have to do negative 4r squared times 9r. And I have to do negative 4r squared times 6. So in the Khan Academy video and how I did it yesterday is I would right now show the 4 and the 9 next to each other and the r next to each other. But as time goes on, you want to kind of progress into not showing all of that. So I'm just going to jump right into negative 4 times 9, negative 36, and then this is the tough part. It's r squared and r to the first. So that's r to the third. And then this will be 4 times 6 is a negative 24 r squared. Yeah, that's how you type it in. So figuring out how to type that in correctly is a whole other. Yeah.
I got that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you got. That one what? That one over. Name 33. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
One r first. Kaden?
Oh, that was right.
Good.
Got it. Gotta be in San. You pick on the one.
So if you're combining like 4 and 6, so we're going to combine the 5y and 5 minus 2y. 3y. And then combine the 5. So that'll be great.
Thank you.
So I have to do 7w to the third times w squared. 7w to the third times negative 4w.
Wait, what number is this?
This is the very next one. 7w to the third times negative 1. And so I know I have to add exponents when I'm multiplying the same base. So that's 7w to the fifth. W to the fourth. W to the third. So James, do you understand anything that you're doing? I know you're raising our head of the odds there. Do you have any questions for me?
Maybe.
Oh, sure. I'm not sure that you understood it. Which one are you doing, the odds right now? So, how back it up again? I must have just said 7.2 right now. So when I right.
It depends on the side is. After what it was just
So do you mean Number 4 online or 5 online? 5 online. 4 in the book. This is chapter 7.2 odds. This was assigned yesterday, due tomorrow. Chapter 7.2 odd. Alright, I'm gonna do 4 and 5, Nevaeh. Alright, so I have to do, this is weird, because this is all one term.
I think it's 2G to
Alright, so I have to do 15 times negative 2 over 3 g to the 5th. And then I also have to do, nope. And then I also have to do, it's like I'm distributing 2 things into 1. It's definitely different. And then I have to do negative 3g squared times negative 2/3 g to the 5th. So it's totally a different type of distribution. So this would be negative 30 over 3 g to the 5th. Yeah, negative 10 g to the 5th plus 2 g to the 7th. That one's so much different than the others. I feel like where it's the 2 terms first and then it's a binomial times a monomial instead of a monomial times a binomial. Out of the 2. Out of the 2.
These are my favorite books. Yeah.
You guys, I'm not sure you're doing that right. You're supposed to use the answers to learn. Like it doesn't help you to get full credit on assignments and not pass the test.
That's true. I deleted my answer, now I'm actually doing it.
Yes, look it over. Try to figure it out. Try to figure it out.
Yeah, where my pencils are.
Alright.
Yeah. Alright, number 5 online from the odd section. Let me read this. So I'm going to separate 7b squared over b plus 14b over b. Have you done this one yet?
No, it's right there, but like, I'm not going yeah.
So now b squared over b is just 1b left over. And for the 14, the b's cancel out. You can do that mental, right?
I can do that, David.
I'm confused where the exponents are.
Well, because, okay, so for the first one, it was 7b times b over b, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you reduce like one step.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't even see it by looking in the book. Your whole brain can tell you that answer. How many more? Ooh, 2 more great quotient problems. I think the quotients are easier than the multiplication. Anybody else?
Yeah, they are.
You think they're easier?
No.
Oh, number 5? I got you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. No, it's not that one. It's 7 plus.
That's so random. Like 1%?
Literally, I think I use that 1%.
That's so weird.
Where you give them extra on this podcast,
Like it. It's fine. Like it.
Oh man, that was way wrong.
separate the fraction and then cross out the ends. It's so satisfying. Cross out the 2, cross out the end, and squared. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 1 end left. Are y'all confused about them?
Yeah.
You ain't crossed out that.
Yeah. Because there's no 2 on this one. Good point. Good comparison. What else? What else can I answer?
Number 6.
Number 7. I'm going to write out all 5 of these. What do you rather, Nathan? Oh, you're done with 7?
No,
All
it's
right.
not, miss.
Of course, I'm going to do number 7. I already started it. Exit. What is your cookie?
Black is
We should write a rhyme.
What else?
The one text is fine today.
Like this one had 7. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just writing it down.
I'm sleepy.
You need to go. You need to go.
One, two, three. Oh, that's just. I failed again.
When I get home.
Miss identity, I just read that.
I'm going to sleep when I get home.
What?
What?
You be careful.
I'm tripping. 8-5. Miss.
It's higher than the number up here. So it's not going to reduce this easily.
So if it's
Okay, so we're going to cross out P's. But no, the 4 and the 12 aren't dividing well. 4, I'm going to divide by 4, and 12, I'm going to divide by 4. And that leaves 1 over 3. Actually, I'm going to mini of this. So there's how many P's are left? 5.
Yeah.
So instead of regular number in front, it's a fraction, 1/3. So 20 divides by 4, and 12 divides by 4, making it 5/3. Figure to the third. Are you getting it, Nathan? Are you getting it? Don't just turn around and copy it. I've already talked to you about that. It's one thing to help people. It's another thing just to like enable them not understanding. So these both divide by 4. And so that's going to leave 4/3. So you have to type out all these fractions. That's too much. Sorry.
Wait, this is part 2 to 7.
Somehow magically got it right without the book. That was not.
So,
I still don't get it.
wait, there was 4 big ideas, not that thing.